Hi guys. Alright, so my name is Zeke. I run Young Justice Dark, the Discord server. If you found us, you likely found us via Discord or any other service that lets you advertise your own Discord server. This is probably where you came from. This is the readout. If it sounded really interesting, you probably wanted to check it out and you hit join. So the first thing that's going to pop up is the Discord server, of course. And you'll just click it. It'll be the little gray box all the way here at the top left. It says Young Justice Dark. Go into the rules. Check out the rules. My rules are pretty simple. They're not very heavy-handed, just because I don't want to overcomplicate things. Next to this is the setting. Go ahead, read the setting. I'll be adding on more to this very soon. So whenever you come, it's probably been more filled out and more detail-oriented as people role play and go on adventures to fill out more of the story. If the setting isn't interesting, don't join the server, because you likely won't like any of the adventures or what everything's about. But if you're a DC Comics fan, and especially if you're a Justice League Dark fan, you'll love it. Next, you'll want to check out System and Mechanics. This has got all of the mechanics of the game. Not all of them are listed, just the corrections that I did. Instead, what I did is, if you go down to Resources, like it says right here at the top, click that. Resources, access to the books. This is going to be a really important link. I provided all of the books that I paid for myself for all of my players to be able to see. The books that are most important in order are Icons Assembled. This is going to have all of the details of the game. If you ask me about the rules and how they work, it's taking a little while to pop up. There we go. I am going to refer you back to the book. This is not like D&D, 3.5 or 5th edition or Pathfinder, where the rules are kind of heavy and you really have to just keep playing it over and over again. And even after you're playing it, you're still learning the rules and how stuff works. This game is very simple. The most difficult thing about this game is that you will overthink rules. You'll look at it and be like, no, it can't just one roll, that's it? Yes, it is that simple. So do your best not to overthink it. Um, but you'll want to read through the introduction and the basics. This is where you're going to learn about the game. It is less than 46 pages. I believe in you guys. You can read. I know this. I have faith. Uh, but it's got all the details about the system, and even though it is a little less than 46 pages, it's still not even that much information, because every single time they list a rule or how something works, there is about a paragraph of description on how specifically it works. And here's an example of how it works. This is what the DM said. This is what the player said. And you get to kind of see the rules in action as if you're sitting at a table, but doing a read through. So the rules are very simple. If you ask me about the rules, I'm going to send you to it, unless it's a very specific question about a specific rule, in which case I have all the time in the world to explain it to you. So please forward me those questions. After that, you're going to want to go to over here and go to System Mechanics and read through what I've changed. There's several things that I changed, but it's mostly just to make it a little bit more simple for the platform. This game is perfectly designed. I wouldn't change a thing about it if I was just a DM at a table with 4 to 6 players. But since there are going to be a lot more than 6 players, as you can see from the right, I already have a lot of people joined and all working on character creation currently. But since there's going to be a lot more, I'm going to have to even a lot of stuff out to where there's less DM handholding. So you're free to make your character the way that you want to make it. And you don't have to, forward questions to the DM and say, can we homebrew that? Can we homebrew this? You don't have to worry about that. I've already taken care of all of that for you. So just read through all the homebrew stuff, or as I put it, the homebrew shit. And if you have any specific questions about the changes that I've made in the system and mechanics room, DM me. I'll be glad to answer any questions about the details of this. And next up, after you do that, you're going to go down here to character creation, read that stuff, copy this, into a Google Doc or into Microsoft Word or Office, because it's going to be for your personal reference. This will, for all intents and purposes, be your character sheet. So you're going to want to keep it somewhere where you can find it. There you'll put your Discord name, the name of your character, stamina, fill out all the details. And then what you can do is go over here and follow these phases. Run through 7. It'll take you straight through it. The other book that you're going to be using a lot is Great Power. Now, Great Power has a long list of powers, in far more detail than Assembled had it. So I'm very grateful to this. It's got a lot of powers. If I can get it to load up. Load. But yeah, these are just some of the powers. The reason why I like icons is because this system lets you create anything you can think of, and they keep the mechanics simple and let you embellish. So if you are shooting a fireball, guess what the name of that power is? Blast. Oh, you're shooting an arrow? Guess what the name of that power is? Blast. If you are creating the spirit bomb, like Goku, guess what the name of that power is? You guessed it, Blast. Any kind of ranged attack is Blast, and I like the way they did that. They left the cinematics of how your character does things, the color of the powers, the way they work. Everything is all based off of you. That's why they kept the mechanics simple. So you'll want to go through here. If you have any questions about what powers would best suit your idea of how your character works, let us know. I've made dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of characters using this. It's especially helpful if you already have a character or two in mind for reference. Like, oh, well, I want to be kind of like Black Canary, but also Copperhead. I want to be the Contortionist, but I also want a Sonic attack. That will make things a lot easier because I'll have a better idea of what you're going for. Next, after you read those two, you can read A to Z. A to Z is not a requirement. You could just never read this book, and you won't be any worse for it. A to Z just has a lot of really interesting takes and rules on how things work, but nothing in it is mandatory. So feel free to check it out in your leisure. The rest you'll have to read before starting. Otherwise, I'm gonna send you right to the book. It's gonna happen. You're gonna say, "Oh man, how do I do this?" And I'm gonna say, "Up, this page. Go read." After that, once you have your character sheet done and filled out in your Google Doc, you'll copy it and you'll paste it right down here in character creation. 1, 2, or 3. It doesn't matter which room, just pick a room and post it. I've already got a couple of sheets here that we're working on, and I'm helping them to kind of more refine it, save them points here so they can spend more points in another place. And then from there, it'll be copied and pasted into my reference, which is character sheets. You won't be able to see this because you see it says GMs and you see the little lock. That won't be visible to you. So that's why I say make sure that you save your character sheet in a safe place that you know where it's going to be. um, the other thing that I've seen a lot of people miss out on is you can go ahead and leave stamina and determination blank. The book is going to tell you what to put there, but you don't have to put it there just because it's going to change. You're going to make your character post your character sheet and it's going to change. So I would just go ahead and leave it blank for now. And then down here with specialties, once you figure out a specialty, just like the example says, just delete example because you don't need that there anymore. And you can say stuff like weapons is one of the specialties. And specialties are ranks can go from 1, 2, or 3. 3 is like the best, 1 is like basic training. So say you're really, really good with weapons. So you'll put weapons 3. Powers, same thing. You will pick a power, say like healing. Maybe you want to heal people. You pick the rank for it, let's say 7. And then if there's an extra for it, you just put E hyphen the name of the extra. If there's a limit for it, you take L hyphen the name of the limit. If you don't do it like this, I won't know what the limit or the extras to, so I'll have to ask you to redo it. And it gets boring and time consuming. And then when you have your next power, put a space in between it, list it, maybe you strike, and it's claws, because you want sharp claws. Uh, let's say they're like super sharp. It's like 6. And then you want them to be corrosive. You would just put E for extra and then corrosive, which is another power, but it means that it's kind of like a poison. It'll do damage over time once you hit them with your claw. And then a limit, maybe your poison claw doesn't affect. Let's say for some reason it doesn't affect aliens. So limit blocked by aliens. So people like Superman would be completely immune to it. But that's one of the limits. Qualities are really interesting. Take your time figuring these out because these are how you're going to use your determination points to do the cool, awesome, crazy off the wall stuff that comic book characters do. If you've played in the using the fate system, this will be very familiar to you. So take your time going through the qualities section and picking out qualities that are gonna best suit your character. In the backstory, I only ask that you let us know how you found the house, uh, and that's completely up to you on how you want to work that after you read the setting page. But other than that, that's it. Welcome to uh, Young Justice Stark, and good luck. Let us know if we can help you out with anything.